everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we are going to talk about menstrual cups. I have made several videos about menstrual cups, both videos about how you can start using them and my own personal experiences, but I also have quite a few reviews of different cups at this point. And today is going to be half a review and half me answering really frequently asked questions about menstrual cups. So even if you already have a cup and you're not looking for a new cup, I suggest keep watching this video simply just because I might say something useful, who knows. This video is kindly sponsored by Venus Cup. Thank you so much, Venus Cup. I have tried this product out for the first time, so you are going to get my first time experience with this cup. And yeah, let's just do this. First of all, the reason why you should use a menstrual cup if you are a menstruating person is because an average menstruating person uses around 12,000 tampons in their lifetime. That is a lot of trash because there's the tampon, which is usually made from bleached cotton, which is bad. Then there is applicators, which are usually made from cardboard or plastic. Also not ideal. Then they often come wrapped in plastic up to 3 times, and there's just so much trash connected to periods, and it's absolutely insane. There's also the notion that menstrual cups are, in the long haul, much cheaper because they are 1 or 2 time purchases. So let's get into this. I'm going to show you what was in my Venus Cup box. Firstly, you get the cup. It looks like this. The difference between this cup and other cups I've tried is that this cup is a little bit wider at the bottom, and I actually like that because it's very easy to grip. They also have, let me see if I can show you, I'll show you in B-roll. They have this grip pattern underneath it, so it's really easy to grip. Sometimes cups can be quite slippery, both due to what they're doing and where they are and just how they are made. And this is not a problem I've had with this cup whatsoever. You have a very firm hold of it, and I know that's something that concerns a lot of you, like the dropping it, the splatter parts. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and I recently, actually just last month, dropped a menstrual cup in the toilet for the first time, and that was horrifying. That does not mean that you have to throw it away though, simply just boil it and you're good to go again. But it was a horrifying experience, and picking it up was... It also has these small holes which are used to stabilize a vacuum. And these holes are really important to keep free from both air, water and what else can be in it. And yeah, that will make sure that your cup does not leak. There are a few different folding methods, but luckily Venus Cup has this little guide that you get as well. This guide that has pictures that are super realistic and not sometimes when you see pictures of how to put cups in, they're really abstract looking because people don't want to draw the body too much. But this is not a problem here. Like, this guide is really nifty. It also has an overview of different folding methods because sometimes one folding method will work for you and another won't. I use this folding method, which I do believe is called the C fold. You also get a tiny little cotton bag to carry your menstrual cup in. These are really nifty, and I use them quite a lot whenever I'm out. They're also great for bulk shopping if you don't need it for a menstrual cup, by the way. But I like to have my menstrual cup in one of these bags simply because it's a little bit more discreet, and also it's a bit more sanitary than just having it lying around. I think that I did not appreciate a lot with this cup was actually some of the packaging. The guide, like the little booklet, was wrapped in plastic, and so was the menstrual cup. So this cup has 2 pieces of plastic inside, and I think that's too bad. This is not something I'm super impressed with, and I want to be super transparent with you guys. I also reached out to Venus Cup after I received the cup and said that I wasn't too impressed with it, and they told me that they actually did not know when they got their booklets that they were supposed to be wrapped in plastic. So if you as a consumer encounter unnecessary plastic wrapping, tell people, just reach out to the companies and let them know that this is not super ideal, and then perhaps in the future they will do better. So that is what I'm hoping here. I'm not super impressed with the plastic because I've also gotten other cups where the plastic have been absent, so I know that it's possible. So that's something I hope Venus Cup is going to work on in the future. But let me just say, even though there are 2 pieces of plastic here, it is still way more sustainable to use a menstrual cup or any reusable period product than to simply just use disposable pads and tampons. This is still more environmentally friendly, although the piece of plastic is unfortunate. So, okay, Wow. I used this cup on 3 days of my period and I really enjoyed it. It went in just fine. It didn't hurt me when it was in. I got a size small and this cup is very average sized compared to a lot of other cups that I have. It's not bigger than most of the cups and it's not smaller than most of the cups. So I would say it fits a very wide average range of bodies. When I received this cup, I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions about menstrual cups that you would want me to answer. So now we're going to go over some of the more popular questions and I'll give you my best answer for the questions. Okay. I have the questions here on my phone, so let's do this. The first question is, does it hurt? It can hurt or it can be a little bit sore, especially if you're not used to any internal period products. Before I got the cup, I never used tampons. So the first few times I used the cup, I was quite sore and it felt a little uncomfortable because that was sort of a feeling my body wasn't used to at all. But also depending on the fold that you use, it can hurt more or less depending on your body type. So I also do suggest trying out a few different folds to see what works the best for you. I found again that the C fold works the best for me. I also suggest rinsing the cup with water so it's wet when you put it in, or if you really have issues, try and use lube as well. That can also be necessary. The wetter it is, the easier it is to insert the cup. And if everything is super dry, then it's going to hurt a bit more. So I hope that this answers your question. It shouldn't hurt though, but it can be a kind of uncomfortable sensation if you haven't tried it before or if everything is too dry. How high do you place it? There's a few different very helpful guides online. I know Put a Cup in It has some great guides about this, and the little pamphlet you get with the Venus cup also shows you this. But generally a good rule of thumb is that the stem should not be sticking out at all. It should all be inside, but the stem should just, I'm just gonna go closer to you. The stem should just be right inside and then everything should be fine. But some people have higher and lower cervixes, so this can again differ from person to person. Sometimes you will also need to cut some of the stem off, especially if you have a lower cervix. If the stem feels really uncomfortable when you put it in, it can be because the stem is too long for you. How to clean it in public. If I'm wearing my cup and I have to do any of that in public, I'll try to find a restroom where both sink and toilet is in the same room, so I don't have to leave the privacy of my own little space to clean it. If you don't get all these tiny holes cleaned out, it will leak, or it will be more likely to leak. What about toxic shock syndrome? So toxic shock syndrome is also something that a lot of people have asked. Toxic shock syndrome is something that you can get if you use disposable menstrual products with bleach in them, for instance. That can become really toxic, especially if you have like tampons in for a very long period of time. There's actually also risk of getting toxic shock syndrome if you're not cleaning your menstrual cup the right way. After each ended period, you should definitely sterilize it and boil it to make sure that there are no bacteria, there are no things on it when you have to use it during your next period. Not in between each use during your period, but from start to finish of your period, you should do it on each side of them. If you clean the cup correctly, there should be less of a chance of getting toxic shock syndrome. A few people also reached out and asked me what to do if their cup is stained. Well, there are a few different things that you can do, but first of all, let me just underline how a stained cup is not a ruined or dirty cup. Staining will simply just happen over time, especially if you rinse your cup with blood on it in warm water. I always try to rinse it in cold water because that way staining will be prevented as much as possible. But using warm water will definitely make the proteins, I feel like, from the blood just latch on to the material and then make sure that it stains more. I'm not sure that was the correct scientific way of saying it. If that is the case for your cup, I actually have a cup lying around that is super stained, although I still use it. And there are a few different things that you can do. First of all, laying it out in sunlight will actually make the staining less visible. But you can also soak it in hydrogen peroxide. That is also something that completely removes the stains. Someone asked me what to do if they have a reversed uterus, and I actually have some personal experience right in this neighborhood because I too have a reused uterus. Help! I too have a reversed uterus. That's something that I've known for a while, and it does not necessarily mean that you cannot use a cup. I don't have any problems with using cups, but I need a lot of stem on my cups, so this is actually perfect for me because some stems only go to here, and that's just not enough for me. The cups have a tendency for me to just vanish completely, and that is oddly terrifying. I also have an IUD, and that has also just completely went away. The doctor that put it in said that the string is no longer visible. I don't know what to do, and we have to take it out because it's gone, you guys. So there are of course a few things that you have to take into account if you have a I keep saying it. Let's just take this now because I just mentioned the IUD. Can you use a cup whilst having an IUD? Yes. Yes, you can. I do suggest, however, talking to your doctor about it and letting them know that you use a menstrual cup or that you want to. I have heard stories about people having an IUD and then the vacuum from the cup sort of sucks the IUD out, and that has not happened to me whatsoever. What I do to make sure that this does not happen to me, or just to prevent it as much as possible, is that I try to relieve the vacuum before I pull the cup out. I have the cup in like this, and instead of just pulling like that, that would just make the vacuum go, and we don't want that. That is actually also what causes splattering, and that was what happened to me the first many times I used a cup. The blood was everywhere. It was awful because I didn't relieve the vacuum before I pulled it out. Instead, simply just press the cup slightly, just in any direction you can. That way a little bit of air comes into the cup or just into your uterus in general, and that way the vacuum is relieved slowly. And then you can sort of just pull it out like that instead. And that's way, way better. That's definitely something that I have found has worked really, really well for me. But of course, if you're getting an IUD, make sure to tell them that you use a menstrual cup and just have a conversation about that. So can the stem break off the cup? That is not my experience, no. Usually these menstrual cups are one big mold. And of course you can be super unlucky, or it can break off if you're using it a lot, or if it's worn out or whatnot. I haven't experienced it myself, not even like slight weakening in the stem area, not at all. So I wouldn't be too worried about that, but if you are worried about that, just try to give it a few test runs to see how well it's actually attached. It's quite well attached. Can you travel with the cup? I've traveled far and long with my menstrual cup. It's no bother whatsoever. Honestly, I like traveling with the cup more than with tampons and pads. I remember when I was younger and I got my period on vacation and having to use pads and whatnot. It was awful. I hated it. But with my cup, I seldom realized that I'm even on my period, except for the first day where I'm also super, super cramped. So I do realize it then, but after the first day I don't even realize it because I cannot feel when it's there. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. But you can easily travel with the cup as long as you know you have places to clean it, and I would recommend looking for bathroom where they aren't stalls, but where there is a sink and a toilet in the same room. Then it's no bother. So can virgins use it? A lot of virgins are also using tampons, and the concept is the complete same. It can hurt a little bit more because the nerves are different and they are not necessarily, or you are not necessarily used to the sensation of having something inserted. But it's definitely still an option. It's not going to be dangerous or harmful to you at all. So if you want to use a menstrual cup as a virgin, you can definitely do that. I want to suggest, however, taking it slow. I did that, and I wasn't even a virgin when I started using my cup. So I took the first few hours wearing it, taking it out, using a pad, and then I sort of gradually moved up to wearing it a full day. That way it seems much less intimidating and much less dangerous or weird or unknown to do. So that's just something to look out for. Can I sit normally? Yes, you can definitely sit completely like you usually do, because the cup is not sticking out. The cup should be all the way inserted, so you wouldn't have any trouble sitting, running, even swimming. It should be fine. Can I pee or poop with it in? I think in one of my last videos I talked about how I usually take it out when I have to poop, because sometimes I'm scared that the pressure will sort of just launch it. It doesn't though, but it feels like it feels weird, but peeing is not an issue at all. And a lot of people also commented that they can easily poop with it in, so that shouldn't be an issue. But if you feel better taking it out when you pee or poop, you can of course do that, and slowly you will get used to it, or slowly you will find a rhythm, that's something that works for you. Not everything is a default option, so stuff vary and people's preferences vary a lot, so whatever you want to do really, but it is possible. Can you use them while you sleep? Yes, and I've actually found this to be super comfortable, because when I used pads previously, I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling the pad being dirty or feeling the blood leaving my body, and it's a most awful sensation. I hate it, and it's super uncomfortable generally, and with the cup you don't even realize what's going on. So I will change it just right before I go to bed, make sure that it's empty when I go to bed, and then I empty it again in the morning, and that's just it. If you have really heavy flow, sometimes it can be necessary to change it overnight, but I've only had that happen to me a couple of times. Last question is, do you use a specific soap to clean your menstrual cup? And no, I don't use anything else but hot water. Boiling water, for a matter of fact. I know that you can get different kinds of products that clean, sanitize, whatever your menstrual cup, but those are not essential. So this was the questions that I think I can get through today. Thank you so much to Venus Cup for sponsoring this video. I'm so happy that they did. They actually sent me 2 packs of menstrual cups simply so I can see how big the large one is in contrast to how the small one is. So the cup that is completely unused and still in its box, I'm going to do a giveaway with. So if you want to win this cup, simply like this video. I actually don't have a way of telling if you like it or if you don't like it, but I mean, it would be cool if you liked it. Just leave me a comment down below so it is visible that you are entering and you are in the running for a menstrual cup. And there is no limit, you can comment as many times as you want, honestly. Yeah, that is everything that you have to do. And of course also, I mean, it would be cool if you were subscribed, but I don't think I can actually check this for certain. But I mean, it would be cool. You would help a sister out. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to Venus Cup for sponsoring, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take really good care of yourselves. Until next time, bye! Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!